Hi there, I'm here to talk about some tips that you can take on when you're running a business during an economic downturn. You might want to think about it as a recession. You might want to think about it, I don't know, as just sales diving or customers not coming out to shop anymore. It's a tough time. It has been for a couple of years, let's face it. It's it's not unusual though in business. It's never unusual in business and never unusual in life. No matter what happens, there's always a time when the economy just hits a brick wall, when things don't go to plan, when people don't have the money in their pocket just to come in and splurge on things that they would like, when things get tight, they don't earn enough, people are striking, things just get a little bit more difficult. And you'll start to see during these times, you'll start to see big companies struggling, a lot of them go under. And sometimes it's the smaller businesses that are stronger. And these are the times when we can start to shine. Now you might think, oh, for goodness sakes, Gillian, don't be ridiculous. There's no way I could compete with the big businesses. But at the end of the day, these big businesses, a lot of them have got massive, restrictive, and heavy going contracts. They've got massive debts. They've got huge overheads. They've got a lot of staff. There's just a lot of stuff on their plate, and a lot of the stuff they've got, is booked in advance. And they're still trying to pay it off. And if each season doesn't bring in the income, then a lot of them are in trouble. And we see this time and time again. They take huge risks, they invest in their business, expands. They might not even have had the money to cover the expansion, and then all of a sudden an economic downturn happens and they're struggling and they end up closing and people lose their jobs. So that's, not to depress you, things like that happen. So what does it mean for your business, your small business, whether you're a solopreneur or you have a small company? Well, there's no getting away from it. There's people will be more hesitant to come out and to purchase things. And that is on all levels. It's not just in the retail industry, so in your shops, your clothes shops, or whatever shop you have. It's across the board. People will start to take a step back and think twice about what they're spending their money on. They have their priorities, and at the moment, with the costs of food and fuel, and our our utilities increasing at such a rate, then the people's priorities will be those. They'll start to delete subscriptions, they'll start to monitor what they are spending, what their money on, and they'll cut out things that are what they feel is not an essential payment. You would do the same. It's normal. So how does that leave you as a small business? Well, you're going to find that. You're going to find that people, if you have a retail stall, the shop flow, the numbers coming in will decrease. You will find that the amount of money that they spend will decrease. So even if you've got a good footfall, you'll still have less money being spent. And you'll find that whole habit of customer and spend will come down. But then there's areas in your business which might actually go up. And that's all down to you finding how you can serve your customers. It's the same thing all the time, no matter what point the economy is at. So this is when the phrase create your own economy comes into play. But we'll look at that in a wee bit later. The first thing I want to talk about is not to panic. I think when we watch things in the news and the media, and even watching me at the moment, you're going, oh my goodness, oh, I gotta panic, I'm not going to make the money, people aren't going to come to me, I'm going to make less or not at all, and my business is going to fold. When you start to panic, you do things that are almost irrational. and you start to go down the path of living the truth or the reality that it is all going to go pear-shaped and it's all just going to die and you're going to lose your business. You start acting like that. You start maybe not realizing it, but you basically subconsciously start putting things into to play which will limit your ability to earn, your ability to serve your customers, and you're basically restricting the flow of your business just by even thinking of it. So by panicking and going and taking knee-jerk reactions, that's the negative part of this. Now, I want you to be realistic in this. I don't want you to say, oh, pie in the sky, it's all going to be fine. But I don't want you to panic. I don't want you to lose sleep over this. I don't want you to start thinking, I'm going to have to close down, or I'm going to have to restrict my hours, or I'm going to have to restrict the stock that I've got, or anything like that. Not until you have gone through everything in great detail. And that's my second point. So firstly, don't panic. Don't get so heavily influenced by media. They're there to create a drama, and they're creating the drama for everybody. And that drama is usually the ones that your customers will say, unfortunately, and they believe that. The reality of that, however, is different. I'll just mention that, because if they are in a happy place when they come to you and you have what they need and they want, they will buy from you. So this is, we have to make this, a realistic point of view here. So don't panic. Limit what you're watching on the media, just the basics that you need to know. Don't go into any knee-jerk reactions. Just take that deep breath and know that you're going to get through this and you're going to take steps towards it. The second thing I want you to do, which is vital for your survival in business, is to go through everything with a fine-tooth comb. And I mean everything. You need to look at your accounts. You need to look at any debts you have, anybody you owe money to. You need to look at any outstanding payments are there. You need to look at your overheads. You need to look at your current customers and the flow of customers. You need to know all your products, how much they're costing you to produce your products, whether that be a physical product that you buy in or one that you create. And when I'm talking about costs for creating it, think, well, it doesn't cost me anything. I just sit in front of a computer and I produce a course or a book, or I quote somebody. Now, you've got to pay services for that, and these services, the cost for those services will go up. So you have to know exactly how much it costs you to have electricity on in your room, to have your website running, to have somebody to maintain the website. If you pay extra alternative people to look after experts to do that, you have to think about, even your accountant, how much do you pay your accountant? Everything like that. You need to look at every single aspect of your business. You need to look at what's selling, what's not selling, and that's on a good day. You need to think about the products that you're supplying, what's missing, what's good, what are the good ones, what are the not so good ones, what can we tweak, in the sense of what if the bad ones are there, and if there's stuff that's just not selling, how can we drop that and move our vision away from that and start focusing on the better areas, the things that we really just want to get out there, the ones that are best sellers, things that we know that people will come in and buy without a second thought. So I want you to go through your whole business. I want you to look at even your social media, how, when, how often, where, all those questions about social media. I want you to look at your emails. What's your list? What size is your list? How are you going to grow your list? How are you going to get to people? Your product planning. So you need to go through absolutely everything. So before you just panic and close down and go, oh, it's not going to work and I'm going to lose money and I want to, run away, you need to look at absolutely everything. During these times, your cash flow is king, so you need to make sure that you are taking out things that are costing you money that you don't use. You might be paying for apps on your website or in your business some way or other that you don't actually use, never have used, and never will use. So you need to sort of take them out and reduce that cost. It might only be, a few dollars a month, but those few dollars all add up. So certainly think about those things. So look at those accounts, but also look at the customers. Look at the customers and how they are reacting now before anything gets really deep and the customer behavior really starts to change more. Think about how customers are responding to you now and what they're looking for. Get as much information as you possibly can from those customers about what they're looking for, what they need from you, so that you can focus more on that, because that's going to be your key to product reduction and client attraction over the next few months. Okay, so that's a biggie. Yeah, you just have to go in there and do it, and it's a horrible thing to do, but it's a massive job, but you need to spend some time doing it. Don't panic, but just get clear on where your business is at, where it stands, what are the positives and what are the negatives, and of the negatives, what can we get rid of. Right. And now the last thing, because I don't want this to be a huge video, and I do go into this more depth in my coaching, but the last thing I want you to really think about is thinking outside of the box. You need to start being more creative in your business. So as I said before, when you're going through your business with a fine-tooth comb, you need to find those areas where what your customers are really looking for and what they want. Once you've identified that, you need to kind of go in that direction more. But there might be also other ways in your business that you can provide help for those people, or provide services, or provide products to those people. The main thing that people tend to do when they go to crash and fail is that they don't adjust and they don't change, and they stick to their path and they go, I'm fine, everything's fine, it'll all be okay, and they keep on the same path as they're going, and they don't change, they don't modify to the environment. You've got to, in business, you've got to keep changing. I'll give you big examples of that. I'll give you examples. In this country, there was Toys R Us. Toys R Us didn't adapt to the market changing. It was an old-fashioned store, huge overheads. It stocked loads of things, and Toys R Us, been going for years and years. It used to be the place to go to for all the toys when I was a kid. It was like one of those wonderful places. It was like Santa's grotto billions times over, but it collapsed because it didn't put in enough changes. And I actually remember one of the last times I went to a Toys R Us store with my kids, it didn't have that magical feeling anymore. I was actually asked to leave my bags at the front door in case I stole stuff, and it wasn't just me, it was everybody. It wasn't clean. The staff weren't that friendly. Everything was all boxed up. You couldn't touch it. You couldn't go near it. There were security cameras everywhere. There was just not that feeling of fun and excitement and magic that it used to have. So it didn't change. It didn't go with the times. It didn't go with the flow. There's other stores that did that. Blockbuster's a huge one. I don't know if MD here will remember Blockbusters, but if you do, it was a store where you could rent videotapes. It had all the latest videos, the films that you could watch, and you went at the weekends and you hired your videos and you bought ice cream and popcorn from them and everything like that. And you went back home and you watched your films with your family and your friends, and that was the weekend thing. Everybody did it, but they didn't change with the times. They didn't keep moving on. So when things went to films went to online and streaming, they died. They just died. People just think that what they're providing, because it's successful at this moment, it's always going to be successful, and that's not the case. You have to keep moving with the times, seeing the change and going with it. So what can you do in your business? Start thinking outside the box, but I only want you to think outside the box once you have gone through your full business and you really know it inside out, outside in. It's not a step you skip. You really have to go through it. And I don't mean just looking through, I know my business, I know my clients, I know what I'm doing. No, it's not good enough. It's not good enough. You actually need to see facts and figures. You need to have it down in front of you. You need to have the plans out. You need to have a journal, a book, or you need to have it on your computer screen, where you're at. and you need to have plans in place. Then you need to start looking outside the box. Once you've found where your positive products are, where your clients are, and what they want, so you've got that feedback. Then from there, you start jumping out. Jump outside the box. Try new things. See if they work. I'm not saying to invest a huge amount of money in it, but there's loads of things you can do in business that just take you outside your comfort zone, take you outside your norm, what you normally do. So another example, I take my own example. We had a huge recession in, oh gosh, what year was it? Was it 2008? Can't remember. So it was just a few months after I opened a retail premises, and my shop was going really well. My online business was going really well. Things were really great. I had 2 kids under 2. I wasn't sleeping very much. It was just manic, but things were really good. And then a recession hit, and then I really didn't sleep. I just did out new contracts. I had loads of overheads. I had 2 babies. I'd just moved house and got a big mortgage. I just got new cars. There was a whole lot of things going on, and I had responsibilities. I had wages to pay, and everything was going on. It wasn't fun. It was not fun, but I was determined that, just to give you an idea, my shop was really, really busy one day, and then the news came out, the next day, and my shop was dead. The first day I had no customers. I was like, what is this? What is this? Why do I not have any customers? This is really weird. This is strange. This is not normal. And then, of course, I saw the trends. Every time they reported something bad in the news, I didn't have any customers. So I'd wake up in the morning, I'd watch the news, say, well, okay, I'm not going to have any customers today. What am I going to do instead? I used that time an awful lot to train myself, because I had extra time. I wasn't, constantly just serving people. I went on to learn how to decorate events with balloons. So I became a balloon decorator. So because I had a retail shop in cards, gifts, and party things, I incorporated that because that's what people were looking for. So I learned to do that. So when the shop was quiet, I locked the door and went off and decorated my party, and I got more money doing that than I did running my shop. Crazy. I decorated weddings, I decorated birthday parties, I decorated for proms. I didn't just do it in my immediate area either. I would travel to other cities, and I would promote it at wedding fairs and everything like that. So that was a new part of my business, which I was really proud of, and it was a lot of fun and very creative. So we did that, and we also did fantastic displays in the window with balloons, so that people could see what I did, and that they could come in. It was attractive. So that was one thing I did. The other thing I did was, in the back of my shop, I had an area that was a big, massive stockroom, and it was almost half the size of my shop again, which was never getting used. Just didn't get used. All the stuff gets stuck in there, boxes, junk, and that was it, get left. So I decided to invite people in to use that back area. Under obviously knowing my contract and my lease, etc., then I didn't hide it out on a permanent basis. But what happened was I would allow people to come in, and majority of the time I did not charge for it. They would come and set things up in the back room, for example, photographer, or we did imprints, like finger imprints, feet imprint, and the rest into silver to make silver jewellery. People came in and did that because I was selling party goods for kids and gifts for kids and that side of things. I was already advertising. I was already known in the world of retail for young families, so mums, and I was in toddler groups and things like that. So the word got out, and they would come into my shop. They'd go to this person. I was supporting this other small business. They would get their photos done, their group family photos done, their imprints done, and I would open up at different times. So I would open in the evenings. So I was extending my working hours. So they would come in, they would get all this done, they'd book appointments. So they had to come to the shop to book the appointment, right? That was for definite. I had the diary on my desk. They had to come in and book that. And then they had to come back to then go and to see these people in my stockroom, and then they had to come back again to collect the goods. So that made them come into my shop an additional 3 times that they might not have done so. And in those 3 times, bet their life they bought something. Oh, I need a card for such and such. Oh, I need a gift. Oh, look at that. And the kids would be pulling things out. Yeah, no problem. Oh, you do balloons. Oh, you do this. Oh, you do that. Fine, let's get you booked in the diary. I can make up your party stuff for you. Excellent. It increased our business so much. So it's thinking about outside the box. I didn't take pictures. I wouldn't know where to start taking pictures like that. I didn't do the imprint stuff, making Julie. That wasn't me. But I used the time and I used the space that I was already paying for in order to generate an income that held my head up, above the water at that time. So I want you to start thinking, what can you do with what you've got? And you might not have a retail premises not to do that. This is just an example. It's the principle of it. What services, what products, who can you serve? What other people can you serve? Or what people in your current niche, the people you already have, those clients, what else are they looking for? What collaborations can you come up with? Is there something that you can do with another business owner which will be profitable for you both? Start thinking about these things. Journal it, mind map it, go to business meetings, get into your local networking groups, go online and network and see what you can do. There's going to be a great lot of creativity during this time of economic downturn. It's not as negative as you think it might be. If you put your head in the sand, you ignore what's going on, you ignore your own business situation, if you panic, if you lock yourself in and you start acting, going on that journey of everything's over, I'm losing my business, I'm going to lose my life, etc., etc., then it will happen. If you step back and go, well, this is an opportunity for me to expand and to do more and to look at other options in my business, then that's exactly what will happen. You will find other areas and you have no idea what journey you're going to go on. This is an exciting time. It's not so negative as you think it is. This is exciting and you have to embrace it, but you have to embrace it with that courage and that mindset that you are going to do well and that you are going to be in control and that you are going to streamline through this and your business is going to change. There's no way around that. It's going to change. It's going to change for the better and you are going to be in the driving seat. Okay, go and have a wee think about that. Go do the work. Just go and do the work and I shall speak to you soon. Take care now.